Hey, what's going on, guys? JS Cards here, coming at you with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. And this is a throwback deck profile because today we're going to be going over my 2005 era GOAT deck. And GOAT format, as you know, is a big nostalgia trip. Older Yu-Gi-Oh! Players love to play past formats, especially like GOAT, even now like 2011 format, stuff like that, which is crazy because I was playing during 2011 and it's hard to believe that that's now like a vintage format, which is nuts to me. I guess I'm getting old, but yeah, GOAT format. I was really young when this was like a big thing. I was just collecting cards and watching the show casually, stuff like that. I didn't really play meta at that time. A few years later, 2008, 9, 10, 11, that's when I was really playing hardcore. But over the years, I've built a GOAT deck to play for fun, and it's fun to play GOATs or older formats like in between rounds at events or just casually with friends or at locals. So yeah, I just have upgraded like the rarities and stuff over time, but I thought I'd profile it for you guys. I think I profiled this like 2 or 3 years ago, but it's kind of changed since then just because as you play GOATs, you want to try new cards and there's a bunch of different cards from that time that people have included and think you should run and don't think you should run. But this is from like the 2005 era, so we'll go through it and just have some fun looking at these old school cards. I mean, some are like newer printings if it's higher rarity, but you guys know what I mean. So starting off, of course, we have Black Luster Soldier, the boss monster of the deck. I love this card so much, and he's still kind of scary to this day, although it is really funny that we can play, 3 copies of him now? So, yeah, I mean, maybe not as powerful as he once was, but back in the day, man, this card was nuts. Jinzo. Jinzo is another really nice boss monster. 1 card tribute, and you can negate all traps, so nice old school card there. Then we have 2 copies of Air Knight. This is the nice secret rare Speed Duel printing, but yeah, 2 copies of Air Knight. Again, another powerful 1 tribute monster. And then we have our Breaker the Magical Warrior. One of the best dark level 4 monsters, and I think pretty iconic too in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! 1 Azura Priest, another light level 4. To go with that, we have DD Warrior Lady. And then some just good level 4s. We have Tribe Infecting Virus, Tsukiyomi, and 2 copies of Magician of Faith. This card's so good. I mean, flip effect, target 1 spell card in your graveyard, add it back into your hand, and you have so many good spells in GOAT format. I mean, lots of banned cards in here as well. After that, I play 1 Dekoichi and 1 Morphing Jar. Some other powerful level 3s that we have are the Spirit Reaper for Stall and Sangan. And for our level 1s, we have the 1 Sinister Serpent, and I really like 2 copies of Magical Merchant. Now, this is a 42 card deck, but I think it's okay to go a little over than 40 because you do have Magical Merchant. So you can excavate the top cards of your deck until you excavate a spell or trap card. Then you can add that card to your hand and then send the rest into the graveyard. So kind of risky, but kind of fun because you do fuel up your grave with lights and darks. And then, like I said, there's so many good spells and traps in this deck, a lot that are banned today. So I think this is a pretty fun card. But that's it for the monsters. It's actually a pretty small monster count. You really don't play a whole lot. I think it's like 17 if I'm not mistaken. But again, you're playing a ton of good spells and traps. So let's just jump into those. Alright, so starting off with the spells, we have some of the more iconic ones that make it GOAT format. We have Metamorphosis. Arguably, you could play 2, but I just decided to max out on this because it is GOATs and you might as well play 3 Metamorphosis. I do only play 2 Scapegoat. This is something some people like to play 3 of, I think just because it is the name of the whole format and deck, because you're playing, scapegoats and using the tokens. So some people like to max out on 3. Because this is already a 42 card deck and you don't really need a 3rd scapegoat in my opinion, I'm just going to play 2. I might even cut Metamorphosis down to 2, but yeah, feel free to play either 2 of each or 3 of each or whatever works for you. But right now we just have 2 Scapegoat. After that, 2 Book of Moon, great defensive card. Even to this day, it sees some play in like some Zodiac decks and stuff like that. 2 copies of Nobleman of Crossout. I really like how some of these cards say magic card, not spell card, you know, because they're older and the whole Magic the Gathering thing, but still pretty cool. 1 Swords of Revealing Light, a more defensive card as well. Sometimes it's nice just to be able to stall out. Then we have some really powerful cards here. We have Premature Burial, Snatch Steal, and then kind of like the big 3 here, we got Pot of Greed, Delinquent Duo, and Graceful Charity. For the last 2 spells, just some back row hate, we have Heavy Storm and Mystical Space Typhoon. What I like about this format, and even some of the other older formats like 2011 format, which by the way, I think I'll have some deck profiles for you guys in the near future. If you guys want to see that, let me know. But the cool thing about some of these older formats is because they are slower than current Yu-Gi-Oh, where in current Yu-Gi-Oh you win in like 1 or 2 turns. You know, with some of these older decks and formats, there's more strategy in a way. I mean, it's not just all these crazy combos like Yu-Gi-Oh is now. Like, you have to kind of know, when should I hold my Heavy Storm? When should I activate this? And it's also kind of easy to like use some of these power spells when you don't really need to, or maybe you're like reading the situation wrong. So I just kind of appreciate older formats because you do have all these crazy cards that are banned, and if you use them at the wrong time or you kind of waste them, it can be pretty hurtful to you. So that's kind of what I like about these older formats. But then moving on to the traps, we have Called by the Grave. This is a cool Hobby League version. I really like it. 1 Ring of Destruction, Torrential Tribute, Mirror Force. I mean, all of these are just really powerful trap cards. I like double Dust Tornado for more back row hate, and then we have 1 Sakuretsu Armor. Something I might do is cut a Metamorphosis for a Bottomless Trap Hole, or even maybe another Sakuretsu Armor. Like I said, there's just a whole bunch of cool cards from that era that you could put in here, and it's just a matter of like finding space. But I think this is a pretty solid list. I really like it, and it's just fun to play with these old school cards and play these past formats. Next up, we have the Fusion deck, which is just a huge pile of fusion cards for Metamorphosis. And there's a bunch I don't have that you could play, but this is a nice start, I think. So we got Thousand Eyes Restrict, Ryu Senshi, what else do we have here? Dark Balter, this one's actually one of my favorites. Then we have Fiend Skull Dragon, Musician King. Usually don't really need 3 copies of all of these, but since you can play 3 of all of them, you might as well. It's nice to have extras though for other people if you're playing goats. Darkfire Dragon, we got the Fire Knight here, Flame Ghost, Dragoness of the Wicked, Fusionist, and then a newer card, a newer edition from, what is this, one of the, oh, it's from Dual Overload, but we have 2 The Last Warrior from Another Planet. Kind of cool. Very rarely make him, but it is an option. Other cards that I'd like to get in the future are like Gatling Dragon. There's a few other like expensive fusion monsters that I don't have, but basically Gatling Dragon, a couple copies of that would be kind of nice to include in here. So there you guys have it. That is my 2005 GOAT deck. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. If you want to see any more past format deck profiles, let me know. Like I said, I do have a couple 2011 deck profiles that I could show. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more. Stay tuned for more Yu-Gi-Oh news, deck profiles, and openings, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.